Boom. There we go. I think we're all set. We're live. We're doing this. We are getting projects done. It's going to be kind of infrequent as I work on stuff, but I'm going to get stuff done. So, I started working the other day on the Corpus Grinders. Started assembling. So, I'm going to do some more of that. As some of you may or may not join me. Who knows? But I'm going to grab my stuff and I'm going to get to work because I've got to get stuff done. Got all sorts of stuff to do. Might do a little bit of painting. Might do a bit of assembly. Well, I'm going to do some assembly. Might do a little bit of painting. Who knows? I've got all sorts of stuff to do. I've got all sorts of projects on the go. And so I will switch to this camera. Yeah, this camera. So everything seems to be running just fine. Very good. Very good. Good, good, good. So this is November 12th, 2019. 19? And yeah, I'm just going to try and get some stuff done. Listen to the hum of my of my computer as it runs. And so I am just going to start working on crap. What freaking model is that? Oh, it's the other sprue. Alright. I need the other sprue. So right now, as it is, I am mostly set up for, doing a little bit of painting. But I think I'll just simply do a bit of assembly. And then if I feel like busting out the painting, we can. Because, we're adults and we can do whatever we want. Feel free ask whatever questions might come to mind as I am plugging away at my stuff. I suppose I could have music going. Maybe next time I do one of these, I'll have some music going. Just to, keep the goblins at bay, as it were. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Hey, Chris. Hey, Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Holy cramoly, isn't it kind of late for you, buddy? Can I pop this chat out so I can see what the hell I'm doing? There it is. There we go. Let's do that. Do I really need that running? No, probably not. We'll pause that. Minimize this. If anything hilarious happens, I got my demon monkey bot running, so I should be good. Right? Always with miniature prep, it is always key to clean the model well. Because a good paint job begins at the prep. Because nothing like a bad paint job totally take you out of the viewing experience of looking at and enjoying a beautiful painted model. And then you see, oh, it's got mold lines on it. Oh, that's no good. And of course, I will always recommend that you cut away from yourself when you are blading off mold lines and such. Kind of a do as I say, not as I do kind of thing. So I'm just going to continue working my progress. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. Just feel free. Ghost Starman Deluxe. I may or may not be doing homework that is due in tomorrow. Yeah, I was like that when I was your age as well. I don't know how old you are, but I'm going to assume mostly young. I can't remember, Ghost. Are you like still in high school, or are you college, or what? But either way, yeah, it's kind of important to get your homework done, buddy. If I knew now if I knew then what I know now, I probably would have been a maybe better student. Probably not. I mean, I probably still would have goofed off lots and partied lots and, all that stuff. Actually, wait, I mean today, because we've crossed over to the 13th. 17, by the way. Okay, so you're still in high school, unless you're a really clever lad and you are you skipped grades and you are moving up fast in the world, as it were. So I'm just going to do a bit of cleaning, as I mentioned, because I do want to get these guys done, because I do want to start another campaign with these guys. These are the corpse grinders, and these guys are just a lot of fun looking. As soon as I saw these models, I was like, oh, I got to get me some of these, because these are a lot of fun. I was going to pick up the box. I probably still am going to pick up the box. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure yet. Mainly for the terrain. That's really the big one. And I seen on the website that the tiles were already sold out. That kind of bummed me out a little bit. I mean, kind of figured they would anyway, but still, bummer. I cut this one a little too close to the nibbin. It's going to have this little gouge in there now. If I was really adamant, like seeing it's kind of see there, kind of see that when I cut this from the sprue, I cut it just a little too close and it pinched the plastic. You get this little pinch in the plastic because the way the plastic flows when it's filling the mold. And so when you're cutting, you can actually end up pinching that little spot, and it actually will create like a little dimple because of just the way the plastic was, flowing inside the mold. So that's why usually I try and cut just a little further away from that so that you avoid creating that little dimple. But anyway. So, I'm going to try and get some of these guys done. I've thought of a color scheme for these guys. Bit of a spoiler. The color scheme I thought of doing for these guys is... oh, hey, Eldari. Eldari Lamborghini's joining us. The color scheme I thought of doing, like, a bit of a spoiler, and I'm probably going to film one or two videos on painting up these guys. I'm going to paint them up like pre-heresy world eaters. Not with the blue, though. I had considered doing the blue. I wanted actually something a bit more industrial, because these guys are supposed to be like, the underhive workers, and they're working in machinery and stuff like that, and they fall into this cult, right? And yeah, and so I thought that'd be kind of fun to kind of paint them up like they were initially those guys that were just working the machinery, who have recently turned to chaos and gone all blood for the blood god kind of thing. So that's the plan anyway. Oh, let's go. Yeah, I might need to get some music going next time I'm doing this. I just might have to. Oop. I love when that happens. My little pin comes out. I can't find my other good glue. I have, I always use Testors Masters, which is pretty much the same as this shit, but I can't find my bottle for some strange reason. And so this pin always comes out. And I always like to make sure it's not clogged. Oh, I'm just grabbing my little thing. Technocat. Hello, Chris. Hello, Technocat. Have you ever used Tamiya Extra Thin? That stuff is great. Yeah, the Extra Thin is really good. I actually have a bottle of that kicking around somewhere because I was going to use it for my Gundam. You probably can't see the Gundam right now, but the Gundam's like over here. And in fact, I'll probably getting, on one of these episodes of getting this, getting projects done, I'll probably work on the Gundam, just for giggly's sake. So, anyway. Come on. There we go. Alright, let's glue this guy up. Now, the one thing I do like about, because of the pin falling out, is that I can always make sure that my nozzle is always clear. But the one pain in the ass is, there it is when the glue starts to flow. Because sometimes can't quite tell when it will. It's not a lot of glue. And I've scored the edges of both pieces so that I will get a very good bond. As anybody who has been listening to me ramble on about miniature painting and such for any length of time knows that I always score parts before assembling them. You always make sure you just get a good bond that way. So we'll set that aside, allow that to settle up for a little bit, and let's continue on. Captain Spasmo, unfortunately, time for me to go to bed, but we love you, Chris. Well, thank you, Captain Spasmo. Basil, hi, Chris. Hi. Captain Spasmo, Chris scores with all his miniatures. Funny. All right. So you assemble the body, and then you grab, what is that, a bicep? Number 43 and 42. Where the hell is that? Okay, that's 42. Oh, that's this guy's head. It's like he's got like some sort of doodad on his, like he's got a draping cloth, or I hope it's cloth. Oh God, what if it's skin? Oh God. Oh my God. Anyway, Basil, what am I assembling? I am assembling corpse grinders. These are the new Necromunda gang for Dark Uprising. So you see, that time I did it the way I usually try and always do it. I leave just a little bit of a nubbin on there so as to not pinch it. And then oftentimes when I'm really being a stickler for doing this, I will make sure that the flat end of my nippers are facing towards the miniature. And then as I'm applying pressure to cut the bit, I will give it a slight turn. Just so that I don't have that little dimple. Just in case. That's when I'm really being, really anal about stuff. Anal. So, yeah. Technocat, I really want to get this box, but it's so expensive. It is very expensive. If you've got the funds, great. If you don't, save up, ask yourself, do you really need some of this stuff? Are there cheaper options? Yes, there are. It all depends. Now, as far as this gang's concerned, like if you really just want the gang, you want these corpse grinders, then just wait till they're sold separately and pick up the box, But otherwise, yeah. Because I really like these. And I'm even on the fence whether I want to, pick up the box. Because it is fairly pricey. And I realize that, this is my thing now. And so, I could always, do that business expense thing. But, I don't know. That was a sweet thing about what I realized about going independent, is that I can write off all my miniatures now, as a business expense. But the hard part is convincing my wife that some of these kits I want to pick up. It's a business expense, honey. It's a business expense. But I'm sure any of you out there with a spouse who's not 100% into this hobby, I'm sure can relate. And some of you out there who are not in that position yet, I'm sure you will find out later on in life. But yeah. So anyway, I'm just knocking down all the edges here, as I do. Because, I'm not going to do, like an award-winning paint job on these things or anything like that. I'm just, I'm just cleaning off the edges because there most likely will be pictures of these guys and, stuff like that, right? So, might as well do them nice and pretty and get rid of all the mold lines. Plus, too, if I do a video showing how I'm going to paint them up, I definitely want, them to be a little bit better looking. What was the other bit? Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Haha, anal. Basil, dope. Me and a friend wanted to split the box, but it's quite expensive. Yeah, it is quite expensive. I know. And if you can split it with a friend, great. But otherwise, really, of course, like if money is a real concern, ask yourself, well, do I really need it? Or do I just want one particular aspect of it and just want, one gang out of the box or, something like that, right? Again, you can see, I cut the little nubbin. And so now I'm just going to very carefully come in and cut this off, give it a slight turn, and there we go. And it's a fairly clean cut. These are my favorite cutters, and these are Privateer press ones. But they cut so darn well. They've worked so well for so long. But yeah, they're my favorite cutters. Although, mind you, though, I have wanted to pick up the Tamiya the Tamiya ones. Oh yeah, even my blade's a Privateer Press one. I have a bunch of X-Acto blade holders, and I just grab whatever. For anybody out there who's like, "Oh, Privateer Press," I didn't know they were still alive. But yeah. So just very carefully, I just whittle my way down. And then once I'm down to about a point that I like, then I just begin shaving off some of the excess. I'm not going too crazy, knocking down mold lines or anything like that. Again, like I said, I'm just getting these things done. Where am I? Captain Spasmo, shave down nub with a blade. Patience is renowned among mini hoarders. Yes, definitely. I write off my miniatures after I paint them for the gray horde. Yeah. Basil, it is still expensive even for splitting, LOL, but we decided to pass because both of us don't really do much hobbying these days. And that's the other thing you got to consider, especially when, you are on limited resources. Do you really need it? Now, all the time, value is subjective, right? As anybody knows. It's like beauty in the eye of the beholder kind of thing. It's always subjective. What you value might be different from what somebody else values. And so if you don't see value in these things, then don't buy them. Simple as that. I've seen a comment. I posted a video, and yeah, it was getting some negative comment. Now I'm fine with that. I'm okay. I find it actually quite funny most of the time. Just some of these comments that people write, and yeah, I'm just kind of amazed at how people can get really worked up over this. Like, these are just little plastic dudes. Like, you're getting that worked up over it, and these are just little plastic dudes. Like, oh my god, calm the F down. It's kind of crazy. But it's kind of crazy days we live in these days, so. This is kind of a cool looking little thing. It's like a little buzzsaw or something like that. I don't know. I guess like he swings it around or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'll figure it out when I play him. Good thing I'm wearing glasses. That'd have pucked me right in the eye. Would have pucked me in the eye. Kerpucked? Kerpapped? Kerpup? Oh, fuck no. Anyway. There we go. Basil, what comments are you talking about? Oh, it's on the latest YouTube video. Also, the YouTube video I produced showing off the new Citadel paint stick, the paint handle for spraying. Oh, yeah. All sorts of comments on that one. It's funny. I find it amusing. How amazing, I find it amazing how people get so worked up over these little plastic things. Now, mind you, I mean, I get worked up over stuff as well that's really kind of, inconsequential as well. But I also give myself a bit of a reality check, just kind of giving the old noggin a shake kind of thing. And it's like, I don't understand how some people, don't do that as well. It's just kind of amazing. Captain Spasmo, Tamiya cutters are nice, but I usually end up with various Zurons. Zero. I'm not familiar with that. You're gonna have to send me a link, Captain. I'm not familiar with Zurons, or maybe I am. I don't know. I'm just not familiar with the name, I guess. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Geez, Chris, the way you snip the mini parts off the sprue fucking pisses me off. Why? What's wrong with the way I'm doing it? That's the way I've always done it. It's the way I've done it, man. It's the way I've done it. Now, here's the fun one. Oftentimes, you get like these little ribbed things, and you'll have that mold line running through there, and you'll find it on like Space Marines, like the plasma guns and the hoses and stuff like that. And it's always kind of a pain to get the mold line out of that. Usually what I do is just very gently, I put the blade perpendicular to that surface and very gently draw upwards, letting the blade fall back into each of the little nooks. And then I come back down. And that's usually enough. Just very gently letting the blade fall in and out of each of those little grooves. So basically you're just knocking that down without applying too much pressure, because if you apply a lot of a pressure, you'll just like flatten the little ridges, right? So I just very gently just run the blade up, and you can even see how the blade is kind of skipping as it's moving along the surface, and that's just knocking down that edge. And then of course I come in, this is like the Citadel brush for cleaning, but I mean any toothbrush, any plastic bristle brush, you just knock that debris off. And it also, you'll find sometimes when you're cleaning mold lines and stuff, you'll get like those little things kind of hanging and sticking up, and the brush I find is great for just knocking that stuff back. I need a few more lights, I think, or something going on here. Let me see here. Let's see if this light can't help us out a bit. Meh. It's dark. I set it up because I was possibly thinking of doing like some painting, and so I wanted to kind of have, some close-up like this, but I think just, what I'm working on, I think is enough at the moment. Basil, I use some slightly old GW cutters. Yeah, the GW cutters are fine. I find the newer ones that have that kind of brown metal on them, I find that those ones, they don't cut very well. I actually don't care for those ones. Like I said, I prefer like these kind of cutters. They have a nice, see how it's nice and flat to that edge there? That's what I'm looking for in cutters. And it's got a nice little taper on the inside, but otherwise, yeah. And I also liked when they had the little spring action to them, so they always spring back open again. But yeah, and these have served me well for quite a few years. I picked up other ones. They were like, I think at Amazon here or something. Oh, where are they? I don't know where they are. Anyway, they're all right. They were sharp, but I didn't like the cutting action on them. They were just kind of annoying. So I kind of stopped using them, and then I just started going back to my trusty rusty privateer press one. That privateer press one, I mean, like, all that ever cuts is plastic. I don't use it. Like, I have another cutter that I used to use for snipping pewter and stuff, and I find that having a separate cutter for like resin and pewter, and doing plastic, it'd be nice to actually pick up like a sharpener or something and just resharpen the blade, because the fastest thing that dulls a blade, even like, X-Acto blades, is soft material. Softer the material will actually dull a blade quite quickly actually. So, yeah. Captain Spasmo, paint stick in the road. Rod and blue tack for me. Yeah. And as I mentioned in that painting, or in that video of when I was reviewing the GW painting stick, I know that, everybody can just simply use that. But somebody who's brand new to this hobby is not really going to know that. And somebody who has the resources to spend on this stuff, who's first getting in, they're going to buy it. They're going to buy it. and you know they're not going to think twice about it, and that's fine. I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not sure why everybody's getting bent out of shape about it, because I mean, like, there's a whole bunch of companies producing wet pallets. I made a video like 10 years ago showing how to make a wet pallet for $4. You know, I'd grab the wet pallet right now, but you can kind of see it in the background over here somewhere. But anyway, showing that wet pallet, you can do it for $4, and yet people are spending, you know, what, upwards of $50 on a wet pallet. You know, like, when you know the basic principles of something, you know, it's not really that big an issue. And you know, you can, and resourceful people, especially people who are not are low on funds, essentially, right? Low on resources to pay for this kind of stuff. Yeah, you know, you think of creative ways to overcome these challenges, and you know, that's what you do. And most hobbyists, especially, you know, more mature ones, I say mature, but I use that word loosely because of, you know, what I've seen lately, reactions of people. But anyway, most experienced modelers, you know, they've been doing these simple kind of tricks for ages, right? It's like gloss varnish. I use Pledge floor shine to gloss my miniatures. And, you know, I could just easily go buy gloss varnish, but I could also just use Pledge because it gets me the same thing. It protects my models, and it, you know, it's an acrylic gloss, right? I can buy it for a tenth of the price when comparing by volume, because like Pledge, you can get like a big ass bottle of it, you know, relatively cheap. So, you know, there's always options, and more experienced modelers, yeah, they're going to know a lot of these little tips and tricks and stuff like that. And so they'll say, well, yeah, I mean, you don't need to spend your money on it. But somebody who is, you know, trying to educate people and trying to make, you know, trying to help people, like, why wouldn't you recommend it to somebody who's brand new? Because finding the right stick, people can get bent out of shape over that. What kind of stick? Well, you know, like those paint mixers, and you know what I mean, or just a regular old twig out of the bush. I used to use it, well, I still do. I was filming the one video on priming, and I just attached two-sided tape, attached the models to a box, and you know what I mean, and sprayed. You can just do that. You can just hold the model. You don't even need a handle. You can just hold the model. Just wear a glove, or don't wear a glove. You know what I mean? Like, there's a bazillion different options, and I don't know why people are like, no, you got to do it this way. No. You know, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Even when, like, with the Citadel contrast, holy shit. People getting bent out of shape on that one. It's like, holy man. It's just paint, people. It's just paint. You know, but I mean, like, wet pallets. You can make a wet pallet for $4, or you can spend $50. And how many people out there went out and bought wet pallets? How many people? I mean, there's a bunch of companies right now doing wet pallets. You know? Whole bunch. And, you know, 10 years ago, I showed people how to make it for $4. You know? But you don't see me freaking out. I guess right now I'm kind of getting kind of nerd ragey, but I just kind of like, I don't understand people's thinking at times. Again, it's that whole kind of, you know, give your head a shake kind of thing. People need to give themselves a good shaking. Maybe they weren't shook enough as babies. Maybe they didn't get enough ass kickings. Maybe that's what it is. People didn't get enough ass kickings as children. I think maybe that's what it is. All right. Comments. Where am I? Captain Spasmo, dull blade, great for scraping model lines. Yeah, it's decent for doing mold lines. I actually prefer a very sharp blade, especially when I'm knocking down the nubbins and doing the mold lines. It's kind of one process. Because with a nice sharp blade, I can actually do it kind of like I'm shaving. Because I shave with like a straight razor, and so you hold it at an angle, right? And it's like, and you just take that mold line right off. And with a nice sharp blade, you can almost do it just the tip of the blade and just take that mold line right off and just kind of do it in a single stroke. But anyway, Nashtack started painting again, doing a Riptide. It looks horrendous so far. Wish me luck. Good luck. Basil, good luck. Go Starman Deluxe. Good luck. Good luck. I almost said good luck Lash. Good luck Lash. Anyway. Captain Spasmo, GW stick stops you from spraying from underneath. Why not make it triangular to keep the band tension instead of flat? From spraying underneath, you can spray underneath. Like, it's got holes, see? And so, like, when the model's sitting here, you can spray right through and get the model. Like, here, I'll show you. And, yeah. Like, this thing is, like, see how easy that was? I mean, like, this thing's solid. But, I mean, like, spraying? Yeah, you can spray in there. See? You can get the model through there. The only thing that, but, I mean, there is never going to be a perfect option. It's really just cost efficiency. And, I mean, like, this thing's just a big piece of plastic, It only costs a couple bucks. It's really not that expensive. And, I mean, it doubles as a paddle. No, we're not going down that road again. Anyway. Captain Spasmo, Pledge makes a great wash base, too. Yeah. I mean, I really wish I'd have paid more attention in chemistry class, because, just to know what everything's made of, because there's really, it's really only a few things in this world that, things are made of. Like most commercial products, they're mostly just plastics and things like that. And so, I'm sure they have cross uses in other areas, right? But anyway. Sorry, I'm just scoring up my parts. Scoring my parts. Score that, score that, score this. Go Starman Deluxe. Mine's a slightly flattened cardboard tube. Yeah. Sure. But see, that's the thing, though, is you guys are already experienced modelers. You didn't go to the Games Workshop store or whatever hobby store where you first bought models and then went home and sprayed your models immediately doing that. You probably sprayed them one at a time and, and thought, oh, this is kind of a pain in the ass. I wish there was another option. Oh, look at that. Citadel, the guys who I just bought all these miniatures from, they make a product that solves this issue I'm having. Guess what? They're going to go for it. They're going to buy it. And I don't blame them. And, it's good on GW. And, I mean, it helps brand new people out. It makes life a little bit easier because it helps encourage people to get their shit painted. And that's really the hardest part about, getting people really into this hobby is encouraging them to get shit painted. Captain Spasmo, I got a seam reamer, but still default to the blade for fiddly bits. Yeah, I have seam reamers as well, because we used to do them for beading. We use them on beads. Yeah, I rarely ever need something like that. I usually just use the blade. I mean, something like, for example, you could use a reamer if I was really, really being anal about like getting inside the cords here between the bits. If I was getting in that space, I could use a seam reamer for that. If I was doing this for like competition type painting, Yeah, I mean, you can do it like that. Usually, though, I just blade it, you know. And again, if I have a nice sharp blade, it just blades right out. Iron Guns. Hey, Chris. I've been getting speckled spots while using my airbrush, spraying Gray Night Steel. Any suggestions? Gray Night Steel. Getting speckle spots. If you're getting speckle spots, that's possibly your paint is a little too thin. Are you thinning the paint out? If it's designed as airbrush paint, typically you don't need to thin it, unless of course you're working really, really close to the model and where you want to turn your PSI down, thin your paint a little bit more so that you can get in close without having, you know, a whole bunch of spider legs, right? Speckling spots, speckled spots, can be moisture in the line. If your moisture trap is not working properly, you need to vent it. If there's moisture in the line, that's possibly another you know, way that's you're getting speckles. Gray Night Steel. That sounds like it's a metallic paint. Yeah, typically with metallics, you know, I'm spraying anywhere from 30 to 25 psi if I'm just base coating the area. And if it's an airbrush paint, I don't thin it. Typically, unless of course, like I said, I'm turning the PSI down and I'm getting in closer to the subject matter. Yeah. Try to think what else there. Moisture in the line, over thinning. There's another one. There's another one that came to mind. I can't think of it now. There is another thing that I thought getting speckles. Oh, paint is collecting on the nozzle, and as you are releasing or starting, it's spurting out paint. But I don't know if it's that kind of thing where it's just kind of spitting paint out at you. I don't know if it's that, but yeah. Yeah, clean the tip of the airbrush. Yeah, like Captain Spasmo was saying. Yeah, clean the tip. Cleaning the tip of the airbrush, typically, like even for dry tip, you know, like when the paint is collecting on the needle, I use an old toothbrush. Yeah, there we go. I use this brush right here. Oh, right here, an old toothbrush. This toothbrush I use for all sorts of stuff. I use this like when I'm doing speckles and, you know, splatters and stuff like that. Hell, even when I'm cleaning a miniature, like, you know, give it a scrub-a-dub and stripping the paint off, this brush is what I use. Or I'll use this Citadel one because it's got nice firm bristles. This is a little firm, you know, for some surfaces, whereas a toothbrush is pretty gentle because, I mean, you know, it's designed so that's not, you know, abrading your teeth kind of thing, right? Well, heavily anyway. But anyway, yeah, that's often what I do. Alrighty. Time to glue. Basil, I forgot all chemistry from university. LOL. Technocat. I am about accessories. None of them are necessary, but it's like a hobby luxury. Get them or don't. I'm just glad the option exists. Yeah, exactly. And there's people out there who are collectors. Like, okay, here's another one that, you know, nobody bats an eye at, but it is something that is rampant in this hobby world of ours. Paints. Collecting different paint lines. You know what I mean? Like if you started off with Citadel, you know, and you're mastering Citadel paints, and then all of a sudden you jump over to Vallejo because somebody recommended it, and then all of a sudden you're over into Scale 75, then you're into Army Painter, and then you're into Reaper, Reaper Master Series, Tamiya's, Golden, Liquitex, MIG ammo, and you know what I mean, and you're into all these coat d'arms, and you know what I mean, like you're into all these different paint lines, and then all of a sudden you're collecting these paints, and then because you have a couple paints of it, and then you end up buying a whole bunch more paints, and all you ultimately end up doing is wasting paint because you never use it. But nobody bats an eye about that. Nobody, whenever a new paint line comes out, nobody ever says, oh my god, another fucking paint line, do we really fucking need this? You know what I mean? Like, but no, nobody says shit about that. I don't get it. Bunch of fickle mushheads. Basically, is what I'm dealing with here. Is I'm dealing with a bunch of fickle mushheads. Gluing. Uh-oh. I probably should have test fit that before I did it. Oh, there we go. Perfect. That's what I really like about these new kits. These new Games Workshop kits is that they're keyed. Cap Spasmo, when you have a choice, always be anal. Anal. Ghost Terminator Lux, dry tip is a severe problem. Stay safe, folks. Captain Spasmo, cotton swab and solvent. Yep, cotton swab and solvent. Although some would caution when using some solvents with your airbrush, depending on what brand of brush. Some people seem to think that whatever brand of brush you're using, you should be cautious, as you can end up stripping the nickel plating from most airbrushes, because they're often made of brass with a nickel plating, and so depending upon what solvents you're using, you can end up actually knocking and weakening that coating on it. Here we go. Anyway. Hail Bob, there he is. We need to do more paint lines. What? We do need more paint lines. Nuke the paint market. Basil, I used to buy different paints because I would see the color, grab it, and then think how I would use the color sitting on a shelf, for example. Yeah. He said anal again. Yeah, and Captain Spasmo, yeah, more like to kill the rubber seals. Yeah, exactly. Now, mind you, people have cautioned all the time about solvents and the airbrushes, the sealants, nickel plating. I have my Patriot 105. I've had this for ages, and I mean, it's not pristine, but it's fine. And I've used all sorts of solvents in this. You can actually see it's getting a little discolored down the bottom. I don't know if that is the brass. That might be the brass showing through. I don't know. But this brush, I've had this for 6 years. Something like that. But, like I say, take care of it. Take care of you. In the sense that, it'll be there when you want it. Not that it's going to be you're going to be an old man and then, oh, my brush is here to take care of me. Not like that. That's not what I'm talking about. Oh, excuse me. Anyway. Time's it. Oh, it's almost 8. Now that things are kind of getting back to normal for myself as far as, internet usage and shit, I'm thinking that I am going to be doing more of these, getting projects done. So I'm probably just going to start doing more of these. So if you are following me on Twitch and such, awesome, because I am going to be doing more stuff here on this platform. Just kind of general hobby stuff. Most likely just this kind of thing where I'm just, talking to you guys and working on a project. Because I've got a bazillion projects. I'm scared. I was thinking about it because I got one of my shelves over here. I don't know if I can. It's pretty dark in here. One of my shelves over here is just full of projects that are just been sitting there. And also, too, I have a whole bunch of Bandai kits sitting over there. I've got stuff all over the place. I've got boxes of bits. I was thinking about getting rid of. I have a whole bunch of old pewter, Imperial Guard and stuff. The GIM actually gifted them, and so. But now that I'm independent, I might end up just like, using them in tutorials and such, right? But anyway. And of course, always a big thank you to Jabba's Left Nut. I've been meaning to do a video for Jabba's Left Nut. No, sorry, it wasn't Jabba's Left Nut. Was it Jabba's? No. Oh, I'm sorry. Nick? Yeah, it was Nick. Nick sent me a care package of miniatures. I've been meaning to do a video showing, what was sent. And, just possibilities of, tutorials and, stuff like that. And so they're kind of just like sacrificial lambs as far as models are concerned, like, showing technique and, what have you on the channel. Basil, guess I'm going to go get some sleep. Good luck, Chris and Monkeys. Good luck, buddy. Captain Spasmo, Badger explicitly warns not to use ultrasonic on their airbrushes. Yeah, and I've ultrasonic the airbrush many times. Nothing happened. Nothing. Hail Bop, been priming an AVP Colonial Marine. Oh, cool. Is it from Proto Games? I wanted to get the Cheyenne transport. Oh, man. Too damn expensive. Talking about, expensive models. I wanted that kit, but I didn't like that the transport didn't actually fit in it. I didn't like that. That was actually one of the selling points that kind of like knocked, like, I lost kind of interest in the kit, actually, because of that. But yeah. Captain Spasmo. Must to bed. Great to see you again, and I look forward to more silliness and wisdom. Awesome. Excuse me. Hail Bop, Imperial Guard, you say? Yeah, I've got like a whole bunch of pewter Imperial Guard. Do I have a box of them around? No. But like I've got like the Kazarkin, the metal Kazarkins. I've got a bunch of like the Primaris Psychers, like the the earlier ones. Cadian special weapon troopers. Like it was like the second last release of them, still in pewter. But like, I've got a whole bunch of pewter stuff. Yeah, it's a bunch of stuff. Anyway. Captain Spasmo, Jabba's right nut will give you right in the bollocking. A bollocking? Get a bollocking? Hail Bop, yeah, I got a bunch of Marines from the game. Cool. Did you get the Predators or the Aliens? I saw one guy, he was producing the MDF terrain that looked like, the colony. I was like, oh man. And that was almost enough to get me right into it. I was like, oh man. And then of course they had, they had that big sale and they were, clearing everything out. So yeah. Hail Bop, yeah, that sucked. Reason I didn't spend money I didn't have on it, or spend money I didn't have on it. May get the APC as it's still floating around. Yeah, the APC is nice. I like the APC. I was a little disappointed though the APC does not fit into the Cheyenne. I was kind of disappointed by that. Because there was somebody out there in the internet that had both of them and they confirmed that it didn't fit in. And I was like that's, come on. Gotta have them fit, for God's sakes. Hail Bop, those Kazakhin are hard to find. Yeah, I think I have enough for a squad plus. I think a 10-man unit. I think, yeah. Daka Flacka Flame, Pewter IG tend to go for a decent amount on eBay. Might be worth selling them, buying some plastics for demo models, and having some spare money left over. Yeah, I was thinking about it. Again, though, like, man, I mean, I was taking care of some stuff today, like that was just kind of, auxiliary stuff, and it kind of killed, filming crap today, but I wanted to get something kind of, productive done today, and so I thought, you know what, like, might as well go live on Twitch, because if I want, I can always end up posting this on, YouTube as well, not right away, afterwards. Who knows? I don't know. I might just leave these on Twitch. Who knows? The only thing is, though, is that Twitch does get rid of these videos after a while. Just kind of lame, but, saves on their hard drive storage space, right? Alrighty. Let's do another guy. So that dude I just did that had the I don't know, the buzzsaw thing in his hands. This is gonna be a pain in the ass to get into some of those spaces in there when I paint this up. But anyway, what's his name? Scoregrack. These freaking names. Scoregrack. So anyway, that's him. He's actually a pretty big dude. Oop. Also, too, want to get some painting done on this guy. I left the little birdie out. This is Catacross, one of the dudes. This is actually probably my favorite piece from that model. I have like all the other stuff sitting in sub-assembly. Yeah, this guy's my favorite though. This guy's so cool looking. I left the little birdie in his cage out so I can paint those up and do them up. But I like this dude. This guy's cool. Just cool looking. Just one of those things. It's like, wow, this is pretty darn cool, you know. Wait, I'm dropping shit now. Hail Bop. Speaking of paints, I got to get new colors to get the right colors for the camo for the Marines. Okay. Ghost Star Man Deluxe, if you can pronounce it and it doesn't include the word power or skull, is it really grimdark? Is it though? Is it? It's not. I had a buddy. Well, I still have a buddy. Way back in the day, he quit Warhammer 40K, second edition. We used to play Rogue Trader. Played it all the time. And when second edition came out, you know, and it introduced like mission cards and it had cards and it was like the color palette and the codexes were bright colors. And yeah, he got out of 40K because he said it was losing the grimdark. It wasn't dark enough for him. I was like, all right. Sure. But I see his point though. I mean, you know, it like the aesthetic was kind of, you know, going kind of Fisher Price, like kids toy kind of thing. You know. I get it. Pretty solid little pieces of plastic on these things. I just put that down and it sounded like I put a big heavy thing down on the table. Yeah, I'm only planning on doing these streams, you know, for an hour or two, just to make sure that I'm staying on top of projects. Hail Bop, the predators are big and the matriarch is huge compared to a human. Yeah, I'll bet. I mean, the models look really cool. I have like the alien on the Adepticon, the Adepticon logo, and the alien, like the sculpts, like the Protoss game sculpts, like those models were fantastic looking. I'm not sure why it failed. I don't know. Anybody know? Anyone? Bueller. But yeah, does anybody know why Protoss games stopped the Alien vs. Predator stuff? Like, was it a failure? Or do I have that completely wrong? It was successful, just there was other reasons. There was like legal trouble. They lost the license when Fox sold to Disney. Oh, right. Right, that makes total sense. Yes. I can totally see that being a reason that it's no longer being done. Yes, I get it now. I get it. I do get it. Sort of. No, I get it. Kind of. Speaking of Disney, anybody buy Disney Plus? I bought mine. Because, you know, I'm a nerd like that. Man, it was a pain in the ass to get going. Well, I actually didn't get to watch anything till about like 10 o'clock, I think, this morning. And of course, I was excited to, like, you know, I'm glad they didn't, but I was kind of excited to, like, you know, binge The Mandalorian. But it's not all the episodes, so you can't binge it. You gotta wait until they're all released. But yeah, but The Mandalorian. Any Star Wars fans out there? The Mandalorian is icing on the cake. It's good. It's fun. It's anybody who's kind of wanted to have, because you know how there was talk before about there being a Boba Fett movie. I think that might have translated into this. I think that's what this was, and you know, it's about this, you know, bounty hunter, of course, and he's taking a job, and you know, but you know, it was a lot of fun. It's actually pretty serious for Star Wars anyway, but it's not too serious. It does have light moments in it, as Star Wars does, but yeah, but it's really cool, and I enjoyed it. I mean, it was only the first episode, but you know, I enjoyed it, and I'm waiting on bated breath for the next episode. I have no idea when episodes are supposed to air, so I have no idea. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. You know, again, anybody who enjoys Star Wars and loves the universe has always kind of been curious about, you know, like, what would Boba Fett be like during this or that, and you know what I mean? It kind of gives you a bit of that kind of vibe. Like, I realize it's not Boba Fett, it's, you know, and it actually kind of gives you a bit more into Mandalorians, you know. Now, anybody who's watched Clone Wars, Rebels, you kind of already have a pretty good understanding of Mandalorians, but this is for everybody else out there who, you know, didn't tune in for that stuff. And so, yeah, I enjoyed it. I recommend it. It was good fun. Hail Bob, small Polish company won't be able to put up the dough Disney would want. Polish. Want. Oh. Right, well, Proto Games was Polish company? Oh yeah, I thought it was a UK company. Anyway. Yeah, understandable. You know, because I mean, like, everything in wargaming right now, I mean, like, Disney, whatever department, their licensing department, they were probably looking at, well, what is wargaming garner as far as profits are concerned, and is it worth a big company like that getting a little tiny piece of a market? And they probably didn't care, and they probably just let it die, and they'll probably never license it out. Maybe, who knows? But yeah. Hail Bob, at least Polish. At least that's where my package came from. Interesting. Yeah, I thought they were a UK company. I'm not saying I'm right, but I'm just saying that's what I thought. But I have been wrong many times. So, who knows? Well, I'm sure they know. I'm sure they know where their company is. There was something else Proto that did that I was interested in. Is it Mutant Chronicles? Are they the ones that do Mutant Chronicles? Yeah, I think it was them. I was also curious about, because I used to like Mutant Chronicles way back in the day. It was kind of a Warhammer 40,000 light kind of thing, but it was out around the same time as Warhammer 40,000, and you know, it's kind of one of those who inspired who kind of things. I'm sure they were inspired by Warhammer 40,000, but not quite. But anyway, Mutant... Oh, shit. I almost dropped it. Or I did drop it, but almost lost it. God damn. Yeah, Mutant Chronicles was a lot of fun. I used to play the card game of it, Doom Trooper. And so, yeah, that was a lot of fun. I spent a lot of money on that freaking game. Hail Bob. There is an Aliens RPG out or coming out. Want to get the book. Interesting. Hail Bob. Yeah, they did do Mutant Chronicles. Okay. Yeah, you have some of the Capital Imperial. Yeah. I used to like the Brotherhood. Just because when I used to play the card game, Brotherhood were just really kick-ass. Yeah. Goes to Starman Deluxe. Shit, where's your company based? I've lost the bastard again. Lost them. Don't know where they are. Can't find them. Alright. Where's this connect up to? Does that connect up to that? That's how that connects up. Okay. See, it's always a good idea to test and dry fit your parts. Test and dry fit. So that you know where parts are going to go. You know where you can score and where you can't score. And again, like I said, I always score my parts because it gets into the plastic and helps with bonding. Bonding. Not to be confused with bondage. Come on. Come on. There we go. Yeah, see, I like my tester's one. The glue comes out just a little bit faster. I don't know. Oh, shit. A little too much there. Hail Bob. I also have some of the old Mutant Chronicles. There's a company called Prince August in Ireland, if he recalls, that has the rights and molds to the old minis for Warzone. Interesting. I don't know. Is there much a demand for Mutant Chronicles these days? I have no idea. Sorry. There's a little bit of excess glue. I'm just knocking it out. Basically, the plastic melts under the glue. And so if you're really fast, you can kind of, like, if there's a little excess, you can kind of, go in and clean it out, and you can actually move the plastic around. It's actually kind of fun. But anyway. Part 17. Oh, excuse me. God damn, that's rude of me. What am I doing? 17. Part 17. That's 15. That's 14. Getting closer. 17. There we go. Boom, 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 boom. Let's pinch it off over here first. And then pinch that this way. Always be mindful of how you're clipping your parts. Be mindful of the angles, things of that nature. Hail Bob, I like the lore and the aesthetics, but I don't think it can stand up to 40k market saturation wise. Yeah, like I like the idea of it as well. It feels a bit Warhammer 40,000, but it's not when you really get into the nuts and bolts of it. Now I only remember the board game. The board game was kind of Hero Quest-ish. I've never played the actual big tabletop version of it, so I can't speak to whether or not it was, a good game or not. But I always liked the models, and and the thing was is that I always kind of wanted to get into the game, but nobody played it, and so I was like, no, even my buddy who we used to play Mutant Chronicles and everything like that, he was like, oh yeah, that's really great, let's get into it, and then we never did, and so. Unfortunately, it's a lot of those kind of situations, especially in my hobby lifetime of collecting things and getting into this, is that get really fired up for something, and everybody else, yeah, let's get into it, and then we never do anything with it. It's kind of like that with like a D&D expansion, or doing a D&D game for that matter. Just you make plans and everybody gets all hyped up, everybody gets ready, we even sit down, do a session, and then nothing comes of it. It's happened a million times. It's just nature of gaming, and people's lives. People get busy with stuff, and for me, when I was younger, because I started a family as a young man. And so, a lot of my responsibilities, I had to, think of, children first, right? And so, I always didn't have a huge budget for, miniatures and wargaming and stuff like that, right? So. But that is, like I mentioned earlier, that's where the resourcefulness comes in. Is this the right bit? Yeah, it's the right bit. Hell of a time to ask, eh? Am I doing the right bit? Let's see. Let's score this here. It's pretty blank there. Oh, it's on the edges. That's why. Just very carefully here. We'll score this stuff. Right? Yeah, because it's a high collar. Then we'll grab a little bit of our glue. Hail Bop, it was more War Machine to skirmish size, not quite as large as 40k. Yeah, but there's a lot of people out there who, don't want, big skirmish games like Warhammer 40,000. And even building an army to the size of Warhammer 40,000, it's a huge investment, for a lot of people. And it's expensive. And even like, getting into Apocalypse. I mean, I love Apocalypse. But Lord knows when I'm going to play next Apocalypse. Because, just the sheer size of models and, and like, I can't imagine that Games Workshop sold a lot of Apocalypse box sets. I'm sure everybody out there who has large collections probably bought Apocalypse. Anybody who's probably got like 4,000 or 5,000 points of any particular army probably bought Apocalypse. But yeah. Alrighty. What's next here? What are they saying? I guess they're saying do these little bits first before throwing the head on, right? So I guess we scare up these little... It's like a goddamn trophy rack or something. It's a bunch of skulls. It's all skulls. Oh, skulls. Oh. Anyway. Alright. Skulls. Let's get some skulls. What was that? 22. Part 22. Part 22. That's 22. Oh, you need that part 20 spruce. Ah, gotcha. So there's 22 right there, and you get 2 of these sprues. So, yeah. Just gonna have to cut the other one off. The other And you know what? Let's cut it away from this bit here because we don't want to damage any of the details. Details. Does anybody say it like that? Details? I don't think so. Details. What are those? Those are the details. Right? There's no other piece there, right? I'm not missing it? No. Why would 22 be on the sprue twice? Right? Right? I'm asking you guys. No, I'm not asking. Yeah, so 22. So, let's cut this bit off. There we go. And then we clean the nubbins. Oh, the nubbins. Oh, we love cleaning our nubbins. Keep your nubbins clean, people. Keep your nubbins clean. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Gotta head to bed now, monkeys. Enjoy the rest of the stream. Yeah, see you later, Ghost Starman Deluxe. See you later. Like I said, I have no idea when I'll be doing these. It'll most likely be kind of rando kind of times. So, yeah. Oh. All right. Boom, 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 boom. Nubbins. Cleaning our nubbins. Gotta clean them nubbins. There we go. Always clean your nubbins. There we go. There we go. Now we bleed. Bleed. Hail up. My store is getting back into Necromunda, so I gotta restart my gang. Got rid of it like a few months ago because I had not gotten to play for a while. Lets me paint the gang to a better standard at least. Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, that's definitely a lemonade kind of sentiment, right? I mean, you know, at least this time now, if you start a new gang. And now's the opportunity too. I mean, to do a gang that you wanted to do before but didn't, and so now you can do that as well, right? So yeah. Don't look at it as, oh, I sold my gang a while ago. Now what am I gonna do? It's kind of let's do this. Let's play some Necromunda, and Necromunda's a lot of fun. It's just one of those games. Mainly because, too, I'm also a bit of a nostalgia freak as well. But it's one of those games that is just a lot of fun. It's easy to get into. It's not terribly complex. It's got a fair amount of rules to it, but it kind of needs them. The other thing is that, it's got a fun campaign system. It encourages continual kind of play and league play. It encourages kind of a league play kind of thing, right? Starting a Necromunda league and, everybody getting in and, having some games. Now, the problem becomes is some people and I've had this in my gaming groups, some people just take it all a little too goddamn seriously. And, you know, they'll fudge things and they'll make up stuff and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh my god, man, it's just a freaking game. Like, you know, basically, I kind of wonder, like, how small is your self-esteem that you need to do this in this kind of setting, you know, to make yourself feel like a big man kind of thing, you know? So like, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me, you know? Like, you know, did your mommy and daddy not hold you enough that you gotta, you know, be a dick to other people and cheat and lie and, you know? Doesn't make a lot of sense. It's a lot of damaged human beings, I guess. That's what it is. It's a lot of damaged human beings. Cleaning my nubbins. Cleaning my nubbins. Well, actually, I'm scrubbing my nubbins. I'm scrubbing my nubbins. Scrubbing my nubbins. Frickin', we got dumped with snow yesterday. Holy shit. One day, I've got like a foot of snow in my backyard now. Good frickin' God. Oh yeah, I'm gonna score these parts. Score. Speaking of which, I think I'm gonna go, after I do this, I think I'm gonna go make myself a tea and have myself a bit of a candy bar, I think. Now, where the hell do these things attach to? Oh, right onto those? Is that where they go? I guess that's where they go. Right on this? Really? I gotta take a closer look at this diagram now. Mini Painting Giant. K-Bello, you are a Canadair. A Canadair? Canadair. Dirt. Yeah, that's where they go. All right. Doesn't really look like they fit there, though. These little bits. It says they fit right on this little plateau here on the back here. And I would assume it would have that shape to it, but it don't. But that's where they're saying it goes. And they swoop kind of forward. All right. I guess. Hail Bob. Day 1 of Necromunda League. You will not laugh. You will not cry. You will learn by the numbers, and I will teach you. Yeah, basically. Yeah. You just got to kind of, you know. You just got to kind of take him by the hand like that, I guess. Mini Painting Giant in Markham also got dumped on. Yeah, I think everybody got dumped on. Jeez Louise. Yeah. Because I'm over in the Niagara Falls area. So, well, I'm not in the Falls area, but in the middle of the peninsula, right? But yeah. We're chewing some of the same dirt or eating some of the same snow, I guess, is really what we're talking about here. Oh. Goddamn. Yeah. Just wanted to throw a Full Metal Jacket reference out there. Yeah, I wish I could do Remy's voice, Arlie. I wish I could do his voice. What is your major malfunction, numbnut? Can't do it. Yeah. Anyway, waiting on my glue. Come on, you son of a bitch. Let's go. There we go. Oh, shit. Too much. Damn it. If you do a little too much glue, see, you got that little honey drop sitting there. We can always do it like this. If there's too much there, we can go whatcha, grab a bit, and if you got the other part ready to go, you just simply attach it to the other one, and you spread it out over the two. God damn, is that how this is supposed to go on there? That looks kind of ridiculous. No, that's the way the picture looks. I'm doing it the way the picture says to do it. Looks kind of ridiculous to me, but then again, it is corn. And corn things are kind of ridiculous. But that's that. That's how it says to do it. Because that's how the picture shows it. That's how the angle looks, right? So there's the picture, right? There's the torso. Where is it? Yeah, there we go. Look at the middle picture, right? That's how it looks, right? If we're going by pictures, which we are. But anyway, they're on there now. All right. Can't get enough of them old lines. Did I miss a comment? Where am I? Mini Painting Giant. Yep, Welland. Hail Bob. I just wanted to throw a Full Metal Giant. Oh, I already read that. Did I already read it? Did I already? Mini Painting Giant. I knew you did some work with Mini Wargaming guys, but wasn't sure if you lived near them or only when you were in town with them. I actually only found out they were Canadian a few months ago. And then I heard about the bunker and was floored. Very, very cool dig they've got going. Yeah, it is a very very cool thing going on. And you know, I mean, if you're really into wargaming and you want to stay and spend the night kind of thing, you know, you can. You can now. You can fully immerse yourself in the wargamingness. Mind you, though, I do not work for Mini Wargaming anymore. I am independent. Oh, I just got to glue the head in? Oh, I got the arms to do. Shit. Was that the right head? I didn't even look. I was looking at the damn silhouette of the head. I wasn't even looking at the number. Shit. Yeah, I had the right one. At least the heads are kind of individualized, so, you know, you can kind of work it out. Hail Bob. Did you? Did I? Who are you? Who am I? Where am I? What is this? Where am I? All right. So he's got two little axes. Number 9 and number 6. Okay, number 9, number 6. Let us find this number 9 and number 6. It's number 7. That's number 9. Is that number 9? That's number 9. All right? Number 9, number 6. That's number 6. That's number 9. Okay, there we go. Right? Right there. Right there. Right? So, typically, whenever I am cleaning parts off the sprue, typically I will go for either the big nubbins first or the little nubbins. And with little nubbins, I usually try and cut away from the bit. So you can see here I'm cutting like about a couple millimeters above that part. And cut there. And this one here is connected by 3 points, so I will cut this little nubbin first. Ooh, didn't like that. Yeah, see, that's what kind of why I wanted to try some of the Tamiya cutters, because they have like this different cutting action, and they're a little bit more flush to the part. And like when I play with like the GW ones, they don't really feel that flush against the surface. And even these ones, you can see there's a slight angle. See how there's a slight angle? How the reflection looks? Because there's a different angle there. And I mean, if you really kind of looked straight on at them, yeah, they're not, it's not perfectly flat, which is what I'm looking for. Anyway, Mini Painting Giant. I'm quite new to this wargaming shiznit, but it's pretty fun to lose still. Well, that's good. Well, I mean, as long as you're, you know, as long as you're enjoying it, you know, I mean, yeah. Hail Bob. To be fair, it doesn't necessarily matter what head each dude gets. The assembly guide is just a guide for a decent starter gang build. Yeah. Well, I'm just following the guide. With new kits like this, yeah. If I was really concerned about, putting my own flair on them or anything like that, then yeah, I would just do whatever, right? But yeah. Anyway. Boom 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 boom. There we go. It's always a fun little sound when you're cutting these little nubbins off and you can hear them flying around and hitting things and landing somewhere where you'll never find them. Until you pull out the vacuum and start sucking them up. Then you hear all the sounds like loose change. Not sure why that little tune's in my head. Mini Painting Giant, Chris. I've got the Tamiya cutters, and let me tell you, they're the O in smooth, baby. They are the O in smooth, baby. Oh, smooth. Like the oo in smooth. I got you now. English, I understand it once in a while. Just once in a while though. Mini Painting Giant. All right, we've got to head out to hockey. Have a great rest of your stream. Ooh, there you go. Have a good night. Have a good night there, Mini Painting Giant. Time we out here. 8:36. Holy carmoles. It's actually kind of fun doing these little evening streams. Just kind of, doing whatever, The other intention I had, to go back a whole bunch of pages as we were talking earlier, or I was talking earlier, of getting kind of, these projects of mine done. Because that's the whole intention of this kind of program. And so I think basically what's going to happen is I'm just going to do these. I'm going to just fire up the camera and just work on whatever. And yeah. And hopefully at some point I end up with completed projects. Hopefully. One can dream. So that's one axe arm. Oh man. Actually, my bum is starting to hurt. Yeah, my ass is starting to hurt. I'm starting to get into hurty ass. Okay. We'll cut this a bit off first. Flatten that out. I don't like that. I don't like that either. I'm gonna have to do this on the table. Just going out of frame for a second, folks. There we go. I just didn't like to have. There was so much of a bit there that was right there. And I just couldn't easily do it, getting it off without putting some pressure on it. But now I got it. And so now we can continue. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Optimized. Almost sounded like I was gonna do the song from Top Gun. Can't remember what the hell the name of the song is now. The one where they're about to start making out. Take my breath away. That's it. Yeah, I might have to stop this stream soon because I think I'm getting a little delirious. That's what I should have, is some beverages going on. Damn. Turn this into a drinking show. Drinking while you work. It's actually not a horrible idea. Other than being a horrible idea. Anybody excited for that Top Gun reboot? I'm sure anybody listening to this after the fact is probably going to be like, Chris, why the hell were you singing that? And why the hell can't I get it out of my head? Hail Bob, not really tired of reboots? Yeah, you tired of the reboots? Now, don't take this as a criticism, but what original things have you seen lately? If you're tired of the rebooting, are you supporting original programs? What are you watching? Because I like original stuff too, and yeah. New. Midway, that's history. Reading history and doing a movie on history, because there is a movie on Midway as well. It was made back in I think late 60s, early 70s. That's a reboot. Is doing a history movie a reboot? Would that be considered a reboot? I don't know. But yeah, there is already a Midway movie. What were you singing? Oh, I was singing Take My Breath Away. I can't remember who the hell does this song now. I know I'm failing in my 80s nostalgia here, but yeah. If anybody knows, feel free to type it in the comments below. Because then people are going to go, what the hell are they talking about in that show? What kind of crazy ass crap are they talking about? I don't get it. It's okay though. It's okay. Oh, I think we have to make sure where parts are connecting up here. Oh, okay, that connects up right there. Whoops, shit. There we go. I caught it. Yeah, you've watched that original one. Follows a different dude in this one. Yeah, okay, well. Right. But a movie on history. Can a movie on history be considered original? because it's already a story that has taken place. I realize it probably doesn't qualify for reboot, which is already an existing idea told in a fresh new perspective. So yeah, I guess that would be a reboot because a reboot is, you know, retelling a story, but possibly from a new perspective. Yeah. Anyway, play with my slow ass glue. I really got to dig up my master, or maybe I'll just go buy a new one. Oh, then I gotta leave the house. Then who wants to do that? To leave the house? Nuts to that. Nuts to that. There we go. Is that the right angle? It is now. Oh, fuck. Too much pressure. There we go. Almost fucked that all up. Alright. Time for the other arm. The other arm kind of comes straight back. Interesting. Interesting. It's not really interesting, but I probably should have did this arm first. There should be something like that, I believe. Take my breath away. Do-do. I'm fucking cracking up, people. Come on. Cracking up. I'm cracking up. Fill my cracking. Hail Bob. I should clarify reboots of things that are still mainstream. Everyone knows Top Gun. Everyone knows COD 4. At least 2 of the new Star Wars were basically the original 2 in layout. They are making another Terminator and just want something not run into the ground. But would we be saying that if they were good? Like if they were doing these reboots well. I'm trying to think of something that is, you know, ongoing. I can't really think of anything because, yeah, when we're talking reboots, it's usually complete shit. But because like that Aladdin movie, I didn't care for that fucking movie at all. It was lame. It didn't need to be done. That honestly felt like just it's cash in. It's cash in. I don't think it was for young people. I think it was for kids who grew up with it. I think that's who that movie was for. Or at least that's who they thought it was for, I should say. I didn't care for that movie. It was very unnecessary. But there's a lot of things these days that are unnecessary. And I mean, you know, I don't know. Like the Marvel movies. Are the Marvel movies necessary? You know what I mean? Nobody's complaining really about that, even though they are bland and generic movies. And they are. They're bland and generic. What did I watch that felt like a goddamn Marvel movie? I just watched something that was like, oh yeah, it was Aladdin. I was watching Aladdin, and it was like, it felt like I was watching, you know, a damn Marvel movie. The way it was shot, the way the effects were, you know, it felt like I was watching a Marvel movie. But I think I did talk about this already. I think I ranted about Aladdin already. I'm just still kind of pissed off because I want my freaking money back. I want my money back. I'm going to call Will Smith and tell him I want my freaking money back. He'd be like, what? Get lost. How'd you get my number? Don't ask me why the song to Top Gun is in my brain right now, but it is. All right. Oh, excuse me. Burps. Give his head a slight tilt, and there we go. Now, who's this dude? This is Iokmore? Ockmore? Iokmore? Fuck, I don't. What's with these freaking names on these guys? You may notice too that I'm not putting them to their bases because I'm going to do their bases separately, right? So I'm sure some of you are like, well, yeah, duh, and some of you are like, yeah, I was just wondering that, and that's why. I don't know. How the hell do you say this name? How do you say this name, right? Let me get this in focus here. How do you say that? That's an I. At least I think it's an I. Yeah, it's an I. Iokmor. Ockmore? Iokmore? I don't know. I give up. I give up. I'm just giving up. What time we at? Yeah, I think we're actually pretty much done with this. I think I got a couple models done. You can see how long it does take me to get models done. I mean, mind you, I'm talking and jibber jabbering, and I'm not really concentrating on stuff. And normally I have music going, and I see some streams that they have music playing while they're doing stuff, and in fact the viewers can actually play with the song list. I might have to look into that. If anybody else knows about all this Twitch shit, feel free to send me some messages about making this interesting, because I think it'd be kind of fun to have I'm gonna switch cameras here. I think it'd be kind of fun to have there we go. Kind of have some music playing while I'm doing this. Jeez, my hair's a little mess. There we go. Nope. Getting a Superman curl in the front here. Got Superman curls. Anyway. Hail Bob. There's a new Marvel movie, or Marvel every year, sometimes 2 or 3. Yeah. Want something new or hasn't been done in like the last 40 years. Like a proper Aliens movie, not that silly Prometheus stuff. Prometheus, like, I didn't mind Prometheus, but I understood coming into it that Ridley Scott at the time couldn't get licensing for Aliens to have the xenomorph in the show properly. But again, that really didn't bother me. Ridley Scott movies are often slow burns anyway. And when you're telling the origin of a beloved character, yeah, you're going to end up into some, different kind of territory as far as, where it goes. And, the introduction of, like the builders into the whole, universe of Aliens. And I kind of like the idea that Blade Runner and Aliens are happening in the same universe. I kind of like that, because there was one of the shorts, it references Tyrell talking to Waylon. And so that ties the two universes together, and I thought that was really cool. Like, that'd be kind of fun. Mind you, though, Aliens is taking place, at least I think it's taking place in a different time. I don't think it's like, like Blade Runner. Yeah, because Blade Runner 2049 is like, that's 2049. I mean, Alien is taking place like 22 something or something like that, 21 something. So, yeah. But it's just, it's just really cool. Of course, I think in Alien, if Blade Runner and Alien, and they're tied, then really, like, Ash in Alien should be a better replicant, right? And even Bishop should be a really good replicant. So, because, I mean, replicants, like, you know, more human than human. Unless, of course, at somewhere in, say, the Blade Runner universe, there's another purge, right? Because in Blade Runner 2049, if you watch the shorts, there was a purge, you know, where, you know, all records were lost, and, you know, Tyrell's work was shattered. The knowledge of his work was shattered. But Ridley Scott movies are always kind of slow burns. I mean, I love Blade Runner. I enjoyed Prometheus. I enjoyed Covenant. You know, was I looking for aliens? At first, yes. But otherwise, I'm just looking for a good sci-fi story. I like the idea of, you know, these builders into the mythos. And I mean, you could even get into some fun story stuff. I mean, it's more like the comic booky kind of stuff, but like, you know, builders versus predators versus aliens versus marines. You know what I mean? And, you know, flush out what the builders were all about, right? If they're even around. I don't know. It's just an idea. Alrighty, folks. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I got nothing else. I was getting some work done, talking to you guys. Hopefully you guys kind of enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments below or above or wherever it is if you guys enjoyed this and want more of this kind of stuff. I'm probably going to do more of these anyway. But these are going to be, I'm going to film these, I think, pretty randomly because it's kind of like whenever I got a free moment kind of thing. And so I'll stream these on Twitch. Then I'll probably post these on YouTube at some point. When? Don't know. But yeah. Probably. Maybe. Most likely. And a huge thank you to all my patrons. Without you guys, a lot of these things just wouldn't happen. And so if you're considering Patreon support, click the link in the description below or on the side, or I don't know, especially if you're watching this on YouTube. That, yeah. Because like I said in the beginning of the episode, this is like, I'm filming this as of the November 12th. So, yeah. But I'm still working on stuff, you know. I'm just hanging out. Maybe something to have playing in the background. I have no idea. I make this stuff. I have no idea if anybody's actually enjoying it. So be sure to give it a thumbs up if you like it. Or a thumbs down if you're, I don't know, messed in the head. Alright, I'm getting the hell out of here. I'll see you guys laters. Later. Do I have to get a theme song for this now? Getting projects done. Getting my projects done with my little monkey. No, that's terrible. I'll have to work on it.